joining us. If you're in Nigeria, good evening. While we wait for our speaker, let's type in the comment section where we're joining from. Good evening, guys. Before we, before our speaker joins us, let's write in the comment section where we're joining from. Welcome to day 3 of the Krawdwise Africa Social Impact Conference.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Please, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please, can you write it on chat? Hello. Okay, good evening. Welcome, everyone, to day three and the final day for Krawdwise Social Impact Conference 2024. My name is Ken Shalom, and I'm going to be your moderator for this event. On behalf of the organizing team, I want to thank everyone for being here today. This conference is just more than an exchange of ideas. It's a platform for us to connect, to work towards actionable solutions that will shape the future of leadership in Africa. And I hope you are here with an expectant mind. This is no longer just about leading in the traditional sense, it's about creating opportunities for young people across the whole of Africa. And the conversations we are going to be having here are going to be critical because we'll be hearing from an incredible speaker who has not only made an impact in his respective industry, but is also paving way for the next generation of leader. I encourage all of you to engage fully, to ask questions, share your thoughts in the chat, and connect with each one another. So for today's session, we'll be having two key segments. The first segment, our speaker will be sharing his experience and insights for about 30 minutes. And after that, we'll be having a question and answer session where you can engage directly with our speaker. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge our speaker who has agreed to share his insights with us today, Simon Efansa. He's a venture capitalist and from Cameroon whose work is funding and supporting African startups is very inspiring. Thank you, sir, for being here today, and we look forward to your valuable contribution. Simon, yes, answer. Hello, sir. So while we wait for our speaker to join us, let's just have a few minutes to talk. Let's connect with each other on chat. So let me ask you a question. It's an activity. I want everyone to imagine they have a superpower. Imagine you have a unique superpower to make a positive difference in Africa. What would it be and how would you use it? For example, now, my own superpower will be the ability to solve conflicts, bring people together, and to build peaceful community. Let me see what you guys think your superpowers can be. And just write it on the chat so I can read it out. I'll be waiting for everyone on the chat. Okay, I mean to see any superpower. I'm very sure we all have something that we all wish we could do in Africa. Something to make Africa better. Good evening, Fatia. What do you think your superpower is? Okay, my superpower is to listen. I enjoy listening to people talking and also talking. Does that count? Yes, in a way it actually counts because since some of the people we have in Africa, people want to listen to each other. Don't one group doesn't want to listen to another group. Everybody's thinking on their own. So yes, that's the superpower. I'll be waiting and expecting more. Let's continue to engage. I'm still yet to see. I've only seen just one response. So, and just tell me, what do you think your superpower can? What okay? Or what do you think you can change about what we do in Africa? If there's nothing you could change, what do you think you could change? Okay, I think our speaker is here. Welcome, sir. Hello, sir.
Thank you,
Welcome.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Sorry, you'll be hearing a lot of noise. I had to come to the yeah.
Yes, sir.
I've come to the office to get better connection.
Okay, sir. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. I'm trying to upload my slide.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. We can see it now.
Okay. It's once again good evening.
Good evening.
Um, I'm called Engineer Ifansa Simon Ebaduna. Um, I'm a tech entrepreneur, venture capitalist, and an ecosystem builder from Cameroon. I work with several organizations, especially enterprise support ventures and venture studios and VC firms to support early stage startups in Cameroon and across Africa. So I'm happy to be here today to talk to you about empowering the next generation. To talk to you about the leadership in a diverse Africa. And, and I want to thank the organizers of the Krawdwise conference, Impact Conference, for inviting me to be a guest speaker of this event to share my experience around leadership, empowerment, and especially on policies that has to do with change uh, across our continent. So we are going to dive straight into the specifics of the matter of the day, which is the importance of leadership for Africa's future. You that one of the things that God has denied us in Africa is good leadership. We are blessed with so much abundant resources in Africa, but what we are lacking is leadership. We have the power, we have bright minds, great talents. The leadership is what is tracking us back. So it is very, very important for us as youths. Start talking about good leadership, positive leadership, and thought leadership policies that can change our future for good, especially the future of Africa. So leadership is one of the missing puzzles in our continent, which we have to address with immediate effect. Without good leadership, we are going to remain backward in terms of development, in terms of awareness, in terms of education, in terms of so many things. So that's where we are here today to talk about empowering the next generation. And the next generation are not people who are to be born tomorrow. They are those of us who are alive today in Africa, who have a great future. So we have to empower ourselves because we are already in the next generation. We are not just the leaders of tomorrow, we are the leaders of today. So leadership, social development, and political stability. Look across Africa, there is a lot of unrest, a lot of civil unrest, a lot of local conflicts, a lot of internal displacement, a lot of foreigners fleeing away from even countries. This is because of poor or bad leadership that we are experiencing across different countries in the continent. So leadership is one of those tools that drive economic growth, social development, and political stability. Without good leadership, our political systems will always remain unstable, will always suffer from civil unrest, and will always suffer from economic setbacks instead of growth. So we as young people have to take the role of leadership or the role as leaders very, very seriously. We have to embrace positive leadership to shape our continent's future and address our challenges. And these challenges across every sector. It's not only in technology, which is my industry, which I operate, it's across every other sector. Be it politics, be it education, be it environment, be it agriculture, be it manufacturing, distribution, retail, housing, urbanization, it goes across every sector. Without us addressing our leadership strategy, our leadership consciousness, our leadership potentials, we are always going to drag our continent and ourselves behind. So it is very, very important for us as young people, for us as Africans, to unite virtually in person uh, to push the agenda of leadership. Is very, very important for economic growth, social development, and political stability of the continent. Okay, so we're going to look at the overview of the diversity in our African context. Remember, Africa is a continent, and Africa is not a country. Because, for example, some Western nations, like in Europe, in America, Asia, they have this belief that Africa is a country, but Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent with over 4 countries, if I'm not mistaken. So So we are filled with diversities in terms of culture, in terms of ethnicities, in terms of religion, in terms of languages. We have thousand plus languages that we speak. We have thousands of ethnic groups. We have thousands of cultural behaviors and traditions that governs our daily activities and lives as a society. So how do we address leadership in such a diverse culture? I think that leadership it cut across every culture, it cut across every language, it cut across every religion, it cut across every ethnic group. So leadership is like a universal solvent. It's like water. Like it can blend, it can dilute, it can mix with any other substance. being it our background, being it our level of education, being a language, whether I speak Igbo, whether I speak Yoruba, whether I speak Swahili, whether I speak Bafo, we speak Ewondo, we speak Fang, irrespective of the country that we speak, of the language that we speak, sorry, leadership remains the center of our daily life. And leadership starts by leading ourselves, right? You have to lead yourself to become a good person. You have to lead yourself to be a better version of yourself. So if you cannot lead yourself, and then we cannot have a good continent, a good country. So leadership begins from ourselves. It begins from ourselves. It begins from our families. It begins from our homes. It begins from community. It begins from our cities. It begins from our country. Then it spread across the continent. So we as young people have to start showing that example of good leadership. We have to stop blaming the government, stop blaming the leaders in power because we put them there by our votes. And perhaps some of them rig elections, but if we have to change the system, we have to start by changing ourselves because they are the products of our families. So leadership has to start from ourselves. So we don't have to expect uh, leadership to start from above or from the top. It should start from the bottom. So I really, really encourage all the young people listening to this, um, to my voice now, to embrace positive leadership and thought leadership, beginning from themselves, beginning from their homes, beginning from their families, beginning from their communities, societies, country, and before knowing it, to cut across the continent. So embracing diversity is very, very essential. So one of the things that we want to really hit on is inclusive leadership and effective governance. So inclusiveness is key. Like for example, um, the UN Sustainable Development Goals talks a lot about inclusiveness. Inclusiveness in terms of gender, inclusiveness in terms of cultural, effective inclusiveness in terms of the perception inclusiveness in the way we see things. And effective governance is how we exercise this inclusive leadership, how we design policies and structures and a system that is going to make sure that our leadership is inclusive and is built on trust. So inclusive leadership and effective governance is what we need to start embracing as youth today and as the leaders of today and the leaders of tomorrow. Next slide, please, moderator. Okay. So we cannot talk about leadership without looking at our educational systems or our educational reforms because education is the backbone of inclusive leadership and effective governance. So let's look at our educational reforms so far across the continent. You will bear with me that colonization, our colonial curriculum, like a lot of African countries are still utilizing the colonial curriculum, which often marginalize. Yeah, yep. So, so one of the things that we have to do to reform our educational systems is to decolonize our educational curricula, right? We have to start talking about our African history, our African history, our culture, our knowledge systems in our curriculum, or in our curriculum, right? So one of the things that we have to do to better our leadership, to be more inclusive, to have an effective governance system, we need to decolonize our educational systems, right? If we decolonize our educational system, it's going to help to restore our African pride. It's going to promote cultural diversity. It's going to foster a sense of ownership because when you have a sense of ownership as a young African, you will you realize that you begin to take care of every asset and every opportunity that is given to you. Promoting cultural relevant is also very important in our pedagogy, right, and local languages. So we have to make sure that we promote cultural relevance in our pedagogy and our languages. As young people, we have to learn from the Italy to make sure that we use the right perspective. Yeah. So we are going to look at youth empowerment initiatives in Africa. Like we are going to look at an overview of the Young African Leaders Initiative, YALI, which is a flagship U.S. government initiative that provides leadership training and for young Africans. I think myself, I've been privileged last year, no, early this year in May, to be accepted in the yearly West African program, which was held in Ghana in May. But unfortunately, I could not make it on ground because of my tight schedule. So I had to cancel my trip. But I participated in the online program, which was very enriching, and the yearly program has really impacted so many lives in Africa, especially the lives of young leaders like me. It has impacted thousands of people across the continent, and it has a very huge significant influence in, in, in the continent. And establishing such leadership centers across our regions, being it in the West Africa, Central Africa, North Africa, West Africa, South Africa is going to be very good. So us as young people, we have to emulate empowerment initiatives like YALI to try to implement in our countries, in our regions, in our communities, and to try to teach a lot of young people about inclusive leadership and governance. Next slide. Next slide, please. Okay. So we are also going to look at intergenerational collaboration, which is very important when it comes to inclusive leadership and effective governance. So intergenerational collaboration has to do with how do we um, how do we acquire leadership skills from our elderlies and bring it down to ourselves, then down to the younger generation. Is very important for us to collaborate with both our elderly and the younger people. So we have to tap brains, we have to tap wisdom, we have to tap knowledge from from uh, from our from our parents, bring us to ourselves and the younger generation. So intergenerational collaboration is a very beneficial process or tool to be able to transfer great leadership skills. So building partnerships or sustainable development is great. So we can collaborate with public offices, with development agencies, with um, with cultural institutions, right? To learn and to bring and to transfer this knowledge across our generation and younger generations. So it's very important to embrace intergenerational collaboration. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, policy formation and institutional change. So we need to start developing Afrocentric policies that really address our local needs. Because policies that are tailored to the specific needs and context of African countries is very essential for effective government. So Afrocentric policies can help address our local challenges and promise solve temptation. So the earlier we start implementing Afrocentric policies is going to be great. We have a lot of outdated policies, we have a lot of colonial policies that we have adopted, which is really totally different from our cultural and traditional system. That really hinders our political system and make our countries uh, very unstable. So the role of young leaders is very important for a transformative governance. So once we implement Afrocentric policies, that brings about institutional change and address our local needs and challenges. It is going to help with transformative governance, effective governance, and inclusive leadership, bringing together fresh perspective, innovative ideas, and commitment to a social justice. And next slide, please. In conclusion, in conclusion, leadership, good leadership, inclusive leadership, effective governance, transformative governance is what is going to transform our societies, is what's going to transform our continents, is what's going to transform ourselves, our families, companies, our countries for a better future. So we need to look into our educational, our educational system. When we start designing good, inclusive, and effective governance in our educational system, we need to design and implement development initiatives like YAM. We need to embrace intergenerational collaboration, and we need to start designing and implementing Afrocentric policies, right? So a call to action to all African stakeholders who are listening to my voice is that encourage governments, civil society organizations, and the private sector to invest in youth development and leadership training in your country, in your community, in your society. Emphasize the need for sustained commitment to building a more inclusive and equitable Africa. So that is a call to action to every African stakeholder who is listening to my voice to make sure that we all encourage inclusive leadership, transparency governance, and effective governance. Thank you very much for your time. Sorry, we have not out there. So this is one of the hindrances of leadership. We're gonna have stable electricity in our countries. So I'll be available if for answers.
Thank you very much for that inspiring lecture. Does anyone have a question? If you have a question, can you type it out in the chat box so our speaker will be able to reply? Hello, we are done with the section, and now we are in the question and answer section. So, if you have any question concerning this lecture we just listened to, and you can even ask questions, even those that are not really related to the stuff. So, you have any question you think the speaker will be able to answer? Can you please type it in the comment section? We are waiting for your questions. Just before our speaker goes, do you have any question to type? Do you have question for the beginning of this event? Any question at all? Just type it. Okay, okay. Can you ask a question? Hello, sir. Can you ask a question? My question is: when leaders are empowered through empowerment program, what do you recommend will help in African leaders collaborating on similar issues in their countries? Examples would be nice. Over to you, Mr. Simon. Hello, sir. We can hear you.
So I, I I was hearing her fairly. So she was asking about leaders in different countries collaborating with each other. Or can can you hear me?
Sir, we
Can you
can hear you
please
now.
type the question?
Again, okay. My question is: when leaders are empowered through empowerment programs, what do you recommend will help in African leaders collaborating on similar issues in their country? Examples would be nice.
Two people are talking. She's talking and Itra is speaking.
Hello, sir.
Okay. Okay. If I okay.
Hello, sir. Mr. Simon.
Yeah, yeah, I'm there.
Okay. I mean, I'm coming, everyone. Sorry for the
Yes.
delay.
Okay, 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 okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. I think I now get the question clearly. So her question is that
Okay.
can I speak? So our question is when leaders are empowered through empowerment programs, what do I recommend? What do I recommend? Yes. Oh,
Would help African leaders. Hello, everyone. Please bear with us. I think our speaker has network issues.
Okay, okay. Can I answer the question? Can you all hear me?
Yes, yes. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, it's a very, very good
Yes, I
question.
can hear you.
Uh, yeah. So, my recommend is okay. So my recommendation is this, right? Can you get me? Okay. Okay.
Hello, sir. I'm very sorry for this. I think he's having network issues. Let's give him some moments to come back online.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you now.
Eh, Okay, okay, okay. So my recommendation would be that when you, as a young African leader, go to an empowerment program, be it virtual, be it on site, I recommend that. I recommend it. Who is talking again?
Hello? Hello, Mr. Simon. You can go ahead, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. Yes. So when you attend these empowerment programs, one of the things that you have to do is to network among yourself. Um, Network as much as you can, collect as many contacts as possible, and discuss opportunities to launch join programs. Like for example, when you design and launch join programs to solve similar issues in your countries, it becomes very, very visible. For example, let's take let's take an example like you want to launch a program on educating young girls and women about climate change, right? When you go to an empowerment program, you will find other country leaders who are there, so you can collaborate with me. For example, you sell me your idea and say, okay, you want us to partner together to implement this program. It will be a Pan African initiative, right? And I'll be glad to partner with you to implement it. For example, I am on this uh, panel today as a speaker. I'm from Cameroon. I've never met with the organizers in person, but they were able to collaborate with me through social media. I think they got my number or my email, I don't know, through LinkedIn or so. And we had to start talking on WhatsApp. And before you know it, I was invited as a speaker. So networking is key. So you have to network and sell your idea to other African leaders based in other countries to be able to buy your idea, to partner with you, to collaborate with you, to launch a program which can cut across different countries, right? So one of the tools that you can use is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a platform that has diverse professionals, diverse leaders. So on LinkedIn, you can connect with as many African leaders as possible. You can chat with them, you can sell them your idea, and before you know it, you guys can start implementing the programs. So it is very, very important that when you attend an empowerment program where you come back, design a solution, an initiative that can solve a problem in your country. Then try to identify this problem in other countries and try to look for similar leaders in those countries on LinkedIn. From there, you can collaborate with them through different conversations. And before you know it, you could be doing a joint initiative. So it's all about networking, sales, partnership, and execution. So it does not end only talking, it ends in implementation. You have to design a program, you have to reach out to people, you have to convince them to jump on board, and the two of you have to what implement. Right? And once you come together as a team, you can easily you can easily fundraise, you can easily get to development organizations for a public-private partnership to implement the initiative that you want to implement. So do some recommendations.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer. I hope that answers your question, kind too, and I hope you're well satisfied. Is there anyone else that has another question, or is there any other question? Well, okay, so I have to believe that we all understand what has been taught today and since the beginning of this event. And thank you all for coming. Thank you, special thank you to our speaker, Mr. Simon Efansa. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing your experience with us. Thank you for giving us advice. Thank you very much. And also, I want to thank the organizing team of Krawdwise for this social impact conference. Thank you, everyone, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, sir. We have come to the end of this. And thanks for attending. We have come to the end of the event.
Okay.